In the lush and lively village of Songo, where golden fields stretched toward the horizon and rivers whispered ancient secrets, there lived a woman named Rita. She wasn't just beautiful, she was breathtaking. Her hair shimmered like spun gold, her skin glowed as if kissed by the moon, and her eyes seemed to change between blue, green, and white, depending on the light. Her beauty made heads turn and hearts race, and the villagers adored her. But Rita's heart was as cold as her face was warm. She basked in the admiration of others, treating it not as a gift but as her birthright. She walked through the village square in her flowing dresses of silk, adorned with silver jewelry that glinted in the sun, her head held high. "Oh, Rita," whispered one villager to another as she passed. "She looks like she's descended from the heavens themselves." "More like she's been sent to make the rest of us feel plain," grumbled a jealous young woman. Rita's cruel mockery one day, as Rita strutted through the bustling marketplace in a gown as blue as the summer sky, she overheard a conversation between Baba Muko and Mama Muko. The elderly couple stood before a traveling herbalist, pleading for a remedy for their childlessness. "It has been 25 years, Mama Muko said, her voice trembling with emotion. "We've tried everything, but we still have no child. Please, is there anything left we can do?" Before the herbalist could answer, Rita, who had been eavesdropping, burst into laughter. 25 years, she said, her melodic voice dripping with disdain. "Perhaps the gods have already made their judgment. Why embarrass yourselves further? Even the trees know when it's time to stop bearing fruit." The market fell silent as the villagers turned to stare at Rita in shock. Baba Muko's face hardened with anger, while Mama Muko's eyes filled with tears. "Rita," Baba Muko said, his voice trembling with suppressed fury, "you may be the most beautiful woman in Songo, but your heart is uglier than a rotting carcass. Let her be my husband," Mama Muko said softly, placing a hand on his arm. Then she turned to Rita with a piercing gaze. "Your beauty may be a blessing today, but mark my words, it will become your curse." Rita rolled her eyes, flicking her golden hair over her shoulder. "Curses are for the weak. I have no use for your empty threats." With that, she strutted away, her laughter ringing through the square. The curse takes root that night. As Rita slept soundly in her bed, a strange wind blew through her room. It carried whispers, soft and haunting, that curled around her like a snake. When she awoke, she felt different. Her skin glowed more radiantly than ever, her hair shone brighter, and her eyes sparkled like the stars. She smiled at her reflection. "I must be blessed by the gods," she murmured to herself. But as she stepped outside, something strange began to happen. Every man in the village turned to stare at her, not with the usual admiration, but with an intense, almost unnatural longing. They followed her wherever she went, their eyes glazed, their voices trembling as they called her name. "Rita. Please, just one word from you," cried the blacksmith, abandoning his forge. "Rita, take my hand," shouted the farmer, dropping his plow. Even married men left their wives to chase after her, their minds consumed by her beauty. At first, Rita was delighted by the attention. She laughed as men competed for her favor, offering her gifts and praise. But as days turned into weeks, their obsession grew unbearable. They followed her day and night, whispering her name in the darkness, fighting among themselves for a chance to touch her hand. "What is happening to me?" Rita cried one evening, her voice echoing through the empty shrine where she sought refuge. A deep voice answered her. "You mocked the barren and the humble, Rita. Now, your beauty will become your prison. To keep it, you must take from others what they hold most dear." Rita gasped, her hands flying to her face. "Who speaks to me? What do you mean?" But the voice did not answer, leaving her alone with her terror. A desperate bargain. As days passed, Rita discovered the cruel truth of the curse. The men who pursued her grew weaker and more hollow, as if her beauty drained their vitality. When she gave into their desires, her beauty grew even more radiant, but their lives became empty shadows. Desperate for answers, Rita sought out the one man who seemed immune to her spell, a mysterious traveler named Olan, who had recently arrived in Songo. "Why are you not like the others?" Rita demanded when she found him by the riverbank. "Why do you not follow me?" Olan looked up from the water, his grey eyes calm and steady. "Because I see beyond your beauty," he said. "I see the curse that binds you." Rita fell to her knees before him. "Please, Olan, tell me how to break it. I can't live like this." Olan studied her for a moment, then said, "The curse will only break when you give up the thing you hold most dear, your beauty. Until then, you will continue to bring ruin to those around you." The sacrifice. Rita was horrified. Her beauty was everything to her, it was her power, her identity, her very essence. How could she give it up? For days, she wandered the hills, torn between her vanity and her desire for freedom. Finally, she returned to the ancient baobab tree where Baba Muko and Mama Muko had prayed. She knelt beneath its twisted branches and whispered, "I mocked your pain and brought suffering to myself. If giving up my beauty will restore peace to the village, so be it." As the first rays of dawn touched the tree, a soft wind enveloped Rita. She felt a warmth on her skin and a strange lightness in her heart. When she opened her eyes, she saw her reflection in a nearby stream. Her once glorious beauty had faded, replaced by a plain but kind face that radiated quiet strength. The villagers, free from her spell, returned to their lives. Baba Muko and Mama Muko, moved by her transformation, forgave her and blessed her. Soon after, they were blessed with a child, a miracle that filled the village with joy. The lesson. Rita devoted the rest of her life to helping others, using her wit and charm to bring laughter and comfort instead of pain. Though she was no longer the most beautiful woman in Songo, she became the most beloved, her inner light shining brighter than any curse. And so, the tale of Rita lived on, a reminder that true beauty comes from the heart and that humility is the greatest adornment of all.